to license it.
Meep meep.
Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Matchbox Makeovers. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is a 1 to 60 scale Matchbox Mercedes-Benz CLK Convertible. These were produced from 1999 to 2005, and mine is from the 2002 Stars of Germany lineup, in dark metallic blue with a smoke gray interior. I can closely match this metallic paint when I freshen it up today, and it's going to get some new bling on the front and a tan leather interior. The wheels are in great shape, so they'll just get touched up and reused. So let's take this apart and see what's inside. I actually changed up to one drill bit size larger than normal because of these rivets. But that didn't present any problem. They came out just as easily as they ever do. Plastic base on this matchbox, always a little pointing when they do that instead of metal, but I guess that's practical and cost efficient for mass production. I like these style of wheels. They just need to be refurbished a little bit. One piece plastic interior. And this windscreen is held in by two rivets. So it takes another short drilling to take these out very carefully that I don't go through the hood of the car. But after just a few moments and a little convincing with a dental instrument, out it comes. And you can see there's no damage there, but I won't be able to put it back in with rivets. You stay tuned till the reassembly at the end of the video, and you'll see I use just a little bit of clear silicone to reconnect that, and that will give a nice firm hold. Here I'm drilling out the posts with a number 2 drill bit. And I only go down about the approximate length of one of the M2 screws that I use. And I'll do a test fit here before there's any painting or clear coating being done in case I need to go a little bit deeper and continue drilling. But in this case I don't. And you can see that we're off to a good start. I'm going to leave those screws in there during the paint stripping and the painting process so that those newly drilled out holes don't get clogged up. And I think it's important that the casting match the paint stripping gel, which matches the plastic box, don't you? Got this little box at the dollar store the other day, and I bought it with this purpose in mind because I can close the lid, and that serves a twofold purpose. It keeps the fumes down. This is quite toxic, this paint stripper. And number 2, with the lid closed and the fumes inside, I am guessing that there's a little faster, stronger chemical reaction than letting the fumes just fill the room. And the paint came off very easily, so I put some goggles on for safety and put the wire brush attachment onto the Dremel tool, and this just takes off any little bit of paint that might be left. Generally it gets into the door lines and the casting lines that are part of the model. And if you can look carefully at my workbench, you'll see these tiny little shards that come flying off of these brass attachments or the steel metal attachments, and that's why the safety glasses are an absolute must, and that's why we put a safety warning at the beginning of our videos. It's really not for kids. But I hope kids learn the hobby, working with your dad or your big brother or your uncle. We're all just big boys that have grown up and fallen back with our Hot Wheels and our Matchboxes and Corgis. If you're just learning the hobby or interested in starting, that's why I show you all the different steps that I go through. And you're certainly free to fast forward through the video, but here I gave it a little bit of a degreasing before I apply some light gray primer paint. And this is a stage where I have a final look at the casting to see if there are any imperfections that need my attention before this step, which is the final color paint application. And I happen to have a spray can of blue metallic, and that's really close to what this original casting was, although with a quick search on Google Images you'll see this particular Matchbox CLK Convertible in every color under the rainbow. So I'm sticking pretty close to the original here. And that was just a tack coat, and I'll let that dry up, during which time I'll give all the interior plastic bits a good washing in some hot soapy water. It's amazing what these cars pick up, even though this is 2002, which is relatively new for many of the cars that I do restorations on. They still pick up a lot of dirt and carpet fibers and animal hairs and who knows what else. So that's why it's just a good practical safety step to do this cleaning, as well as preparing for any more paint that might be applied. And as always, I go through several steps of increasingly finer and finer wet dry sandpaper in my attempt to get these well-used windshields back into good shape. If you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up and a like, and become a subscriber to my channel. I'd sure be happy if you would. And when you leave your respectful comments below, I'd love to know where you're watching from. I'm in Switzerland via Canada. This is where I've been these many years, and it's really a favorable place to live, especially if you're a car enthusiast. Of course, I've got the German Autobahn just about 10 minutes from my driveway, and I can open up my little German sports car and let it rip as fast as it will go with impunity. There is no speed limit. And I've got the Swiss Alps to drive around in, and the great mountain passes. And I'm only about 3 hours away from Stuttgart, Germany. And Stuttgart, of course, is a great car town. It is home to Mercedes-Benz and Porsche and BMW, and I've been to all of the interactive museums that they have there, and if you're a car like me, it's almost like a pilgrimage to Mecca. And the Mercedes-Benz Interactive Museum is just a tremendous, modern, high-tech place to go. I've never owned a Mercedes. In fact, growing up in Canada, I only saw the high-end ones. But now, having been in Europe these years, you'll recognize, especially in this area bordering Germany, they have all levels. You can learn to drive in a low-end Mercedes. And if you get in a taxi around here, there's a good chance it's a Mercedes-Benz. And so they're all over the place. And now that I've been in a few, you sure can agree they're just a superior German-made automobile. And this has been a fun little casting to work on as well. So now it's got a dark tan leather interior. And I detailed just the steering wheel on the inside, because this is a cabrio and sometimes their windows are dark and you can't even see the interior, but in this case it's show and tell. And it's going back together with no problems at all with these couple of screws that were pre-fit at the beginning. And now we can take a closer look. One special feature that I did in this car was rhinestones for the headlights. And they're flat on the back, and so just a little glue application, and I thought that looked more realistic than painting them chrome or white, which is kind of artificial. So I was pleased with how the front end turned out. I like to make a personalized license plate. This is Makeover number 54. The wheels were refurbished and a little bit of weathering on the bottom, not too much. And that's pretty close to a restoration on the CLK Convertible. The paint was scuffed up, it's just been well worn and loved, and the windshield was a little bit loose, so I had to do an adjustment on that, but the finished product I think is very sharp looking. And I don't display these or collect them or sell them, I actually give these away, and so this one, like all my makeovers, goes into a gift bag in it to the local Goodwill store for a little boy or girl. I hope you had fun watching this. Give it a thumbs up, won't you? And come back real soon. It's coffee time.